What the hell happened with Henry Creel and that cave? Henry Creel is the most powerful psychic in Stranger Things, so the fact that he freezes at the mouth of one cave in Season 5 is not a throwaway detail. It is the weakest point in his entire armor. This script walks through the in-story explanation and the wildest fan theories about why Henry will do anything except step inside that cave. In Season 5, Max is trapped inside Henry's own mind, racing through his memories while he hunts her down. Just when it looks like he is about to catch her, she ducks into a rocky cave. And Henry, the guy who has no problem walking through anyone's worst memory, suddenly stops shaking and refuses to cross the threshold. Max quickly realizes this cave is different. It terrifies him, so she turns it into her personal safe zone, building a base deep inside the one place Vecna will not follow. The show and the Broadway prequel, The First Shadow, have already dropped the key piece of canon. This is not just any cave. It is the exact place where young Henry first made contact with the Upside Down. As a boy near a Nevada army base, Henry disappeared inside a cave system for hours and came back changed. Cold, altered, and hiding an injured left hand that clearly linked him to something otherworldly. The Duffer Brothers have now confirmed that the Season 5 cave is the same Nevada cave from the play, meaning Henry is literally staring at the origin point of his powers and his trauma. One of the clearest explanations is psychological. Henry has a massive trauma block around what happened in that cave. The play implies he encountered an experiment or entity tied to Dimension X, was infected, and then had those memories buried so deep that even he cannot fully access them. Just like Eleven's mind refused to let her remember killing the other kids until she was strong enough, Henry's brain has turned this cave into a locked door. Stepping inside would force him to relive the moment he was first taken, altered, and bound to the Upside Down. In that chase with Max, his body literally trembles and his arm starts to rot back into Vecna flesh the moment he gets close, as if his own mind is physically rejecting the memory. The idea here is that he cannot cross the threshold because doing so would shatter the story he tells himself, that he chose this evolution, and drag him back to the terrified kid who never had control. Another popular theory is that the cave is not really Henry's space anymore. It belongs to something older and more dangerous. In The First Shadow, Henry's first real exposure to the Upside Down seems to come through equipment or remnants of a secret Nevada experiment, which may have opened a route to Dimension X and the entity that becomes the Mind Flayer. If that cave is effectively the Mind Flayer's nest, then Henry stepping inside would be like walking straight into his boss's office after spending years pretending he is the one in charge. This theory paints Vecna as a general who is terrified of the battlefield where he nearly died the first time. Crossing that line might allow the Mind Flayer to reassert control, strip away Henry's independence, or even overwrite his consciousness entirely, which is why he keeps his distance and tries to dominate Max from the outer edges instead. Some fans think the cave represents the last place where Henry Creel existed before Vecna was born. The Nevada incident split his life into a before and after. Before the cave, he was a strange, isolated boy. After the cave, he was something inhuman, with blood chemistry and abilities that terrified even Dr. Brenner. When Max runs into that memory, she is effectively hiding inside the moment that proves Henry is not a self-made god, but the victim of someone else's experiment and manipulation. If he walks into that cave, he has to confront the idea that his power is not pure destiny or superiority, but the result of being experimented on and infected. That realization would crack his carefully constructed identity apart. And characters like Henry, who survive on ego and control, will do anything to avoid that kind of self-destruction. From Max's perspective, the cave is a rare, priceless weakness. She has already survived Vecna once by clinging to her own pain and guilt, and now she turns his worst memory into a weapon by camping out in the one place he refuses to look. Some theories suggest that the longer she and Holly stay hidden there, the more they can poke at the raw nerve of Henry's past, forcing flashes of the original incident to resurface and destabilize him. Others think Max might eventually lure him inside on purpose, pushing him to cross that line so that the full memory detonates in his mind mid-battle. If Henry is suddenly reliving his childhood encounter, the experiment, the infection, the loss of control, it could paralyze him long enough for 11 or the Hawkins crew to strike, making the cave both his birthplace and his potential grave. The creative team has hinted that the cave is not just a cool set piece, but a major key to the ending of the series. Because it ties together the Nevada experiments, Dimension X, Henry's origin, and his connection to the Mind Flayer, many fans expect the final showdown to circle back to this location in the real world, not just in memory. If the heroes can find the actual Nevada cave, they might access a hidden gate, uncover what really happened to Henry, and exploit the same fear that keeps him frozen on that mental threshold. So, why will Henry not go into the cave? At the simplest level, it is because that cave is the one place in the universe where he is not the predator. He is the scared kid who got pulled into something bigger than himself and never truly came back. Whether it is trauma, the Mind Flayer's domain, or the graveyard of his human identity, that fear is exactly what Max and the rest of the gang need to turn into their final weapon against Vecna. Like this video? Hit a like and sub and let me entertain you with the next one.